गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड इवनिंग गाइस। पता नहीं मुझे क्यों हंसी आ गई बोलते हुए। मैं बड़े अनाउंसर की तरह बात कर रहा था। टुडे आई एम गोइंग टू बी रिव्यूइंग गेम चेंजर. I also thought I'll review two web series, but I'll leave it for next time. Both was Black Warrant and Patal Lok, but I'll do a subsequent video on that. I thought I'll spend some time on Game Changer. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about Game Changer. I saw this movie last week, and honestly, I went into the movie with no expectations. In the back of my head, actually, I thought this was going to be a spectacular film. Given the fact that this is a Shankar movie, and I've always been a big fan of Shankar from Gene's days, yeah, Gene's Mudalwan, even Sivaji the Boss, which was probably his best work, in my opinion. I had high expectations of it. His last movie, Indian 2, was a disaster for several reasons, right? His previous works were largely in part due to his writer, Sujata. And Sujata or Shankar ki combination jo thi, that used to work really well. So after Sujata passed away, he was a little lost, I think. And his movies started to slump a little. Not a little, but a lot. And so there was a lot of expectations for several reasons that this is going to be his comeback, number one. And number two, the writer Karthik Subaraj, who I have been a big fan of. Karthik Subaraj speaks to the younger generation, right? If you have not watched Karthik Subaraj's works, you should go and watch it. Jigar Tanda was fantastic. I think that was Karthik Subaraj's best work, in my opinion, even now. Although Petai was more of was a fan worship, समझ लो रजनीकांत के लिए. But given the fact that Karthik Subaraj was the writer, and it was Shankar's comeback, and Ram Charan and S.J. Surya, who is another terrific actor, was a part of the movie. I was having very high hopes for this, to be very honest. And I can summarize this movie in one word. It's a disaster. But let's break it down, yeah. Let's go to the good, the bad, the ugly, like we normally do. I'll give you the good first, and then we'll move to the bad and ugly, which is a lot. The good part is the acting. Ram Charan's acting was terrific. He's got a great screen presence. Oh, jeans में है यार, तो मानने वाली बात है. And S.J. Surya. The battle between S.J. Surya and Ram Charan and the one-on-ones were fantastic. I think it was the highlight of the movie for me. Especially S.J. Surya ka screen presence and his dialogue delivery is terrific. He makes the best villain. He makes the best bad cop. ये सारी चीज़ें बहुत अच्छी तरह से खेलता है वो. So those two were very good plus points. The other plus point I really saw about the movie was the camera work. There are scenes out there where the camera moves so fast and seamlessly in slow motion and switching from one angle to the other. There is one scene where S.J. Surya is confronting Ram Charan, and the way the camera moves around both of them in circles, in back and forth, is terrific. यार, it's so well edited. पता है, वो देख के मुझे मजा आ गया. For a guy who loves cinematography, I think it was a joy to see that. And the other thing, I think there was an interview with Anurag Kashyap, I think a couple of months back, or maybe a month ago. And Anurag was mentioning that one of the things Shankar mentioned was, given the attention span of people, right? आजकल लोग TikTok के videos देखते हैं, 30-second shots देखते हैं. And people don't want to stick around in YouTube even for more than 5 to 7 minutes, right? Given all that stuff, the way the movie was supposed to be made was go boom, 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 right? One scene after the other. And I could feel it. If you walk into the movie from start to finish, there is no pause there. It seamlessly runs from one phase to the other. Story after story after story after story, right? I thought that way of storytelling was really nice. And I think that was a highlight of the movie for me. As a movie lover, I really loved watching that part of it. So those were the good aspects of it. Let's talk about the bad and the ugly. Number one, Kiara Advani. I thought she was wasted. There was no need for her, excepting for looking like an eye candy and dancing around and mouthing a few romantic dialogues. There was nothing else for her. So I thought that was unnecessary. Anybody else could have done that role. That is number one. Number two, the storytelling, right? if you go back and look at Shankar's old movies, right, like Mudalvan, Kadalan, Jeans, Annayan, even Sivaji the Boss, right, even Gentleman, for example, which was a very classic movie, right. They often tackle social issues. They blend seamlessly with the commercial elements, right. That's his signature. And if you look at his stories, which Sujata wrote mostly, was around social issues. There is always a tragic flashback. There is a vigilante justice. There is somebody who is outright angry with the system who is trying to fix it. And it often ends up in a very elaborate climax, right? Like a spectacular climax, like the one you saw in Robo here with Rajnikant. So all this formula, the social justice wala formula jo hai, I think it worked really well for him because he had a fantastic writer in Sujata. And number two, the audience at that time was, it was का mindset ही अलग था यार, right? Fast forwarding back up to Indian 2, which is the most recent of his movies, with the lack of having a writer like Sujata, with the audience moving on from these type of stories, I think Indian 2 flopped because of that, right? So my expectation when I walked into the movie, to be very honest, was there'll be a very nice story change with Karthik Subbaraj coming up with a fresh idea. And Karthik Subbaraj's storytelling is completely different. It's very sharp. It's very, there are some sarcastic humor as well in there, along with very weird type of action sequences and all that stuff. So I thought there'll be a very nice jugalbandi between Karthik Subbaraj's fresh writing and Shankar's brilliant storytelling, right? It didn't work. Karthik Subbaraj wrote up a story that's very similar to what Shankar's signature is. And that's not his forte here. Karthik Subbaraj is not known for writing stuff like that, right? So I think that was the biggest mistake, having to stick with that same type of repeated formula, like the vigilante justice wala, and having those tragic flashbacks and social issues ko handle karna and all that stuff, right? So I thought these were the things that ended up creating a movie that was more of a disaster. The audience didn't bite it. So in my opinion, the movie was not worth a watch, guys, in theaters at least. You can wait for it to come in OTT, sit back and relax in a sofa and watch it. Do watch it. It's a very nice movie. It's a very, it's a visual treat at some level, especially if you want to see Ram Charan's action sequences and S.J. Surya's dialogue delivery, their confrontation and all that stuff, right? बहुत अच्छा था picture, but it's not worth going and sitting in a theater and wasting money. You'd rather do it in the comfort of your home. I am, though, watching 2 web series, Black Warrant, which is fantastic, and I'll review that next time, and also Patal Lok, Season 2. So watch out for that review coming up pretty soon. And until then, eat, drink, and enjoy life, guys, like I always say. And adios. Don't forget to leave your comments. And please like, subscribe to my channel. I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Don't just watch it and get away. Just comment away. Okay? Enjoy. Take care.